few days ago, I came upon this article of 11 American nations, essentially a balkanized America in which 11 nations divided by culture and their respect to the federal government would emerge. I liked it so much that I wanted to do a video about it. This is a central summary of this article. Without further ado, let's begin. This data is supported by this expansion of nations, the way they vote, and even people's DNA. So I think the best way to start off the video is with Yankeedom. Yankeedom includes the provinces of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia and Canada and even parts of New Brunswick. Then you also have most of New England and upstate New York, parts of Long Island, Wisconsin and Michigan, most of the Great Lake area, plus Minnesota, and parts of North and South Dakota. The people in this area tend to be comfortable with the government. They love education and take it very seriously. Many people like acting in the government and having a say. This area of the country is very industrial, and they are mainly associated with the Yankees in the north versus the Dixies in the south versus in the Civil War. Next is New Netherland, which includes northern New Jersey, New York City, parts of New York, parts of Long Island, parts of the Connecticut Panhandle, you name it. This area was conquered by the Netherlands, by the Dutch first, other than the innocent Native Americans that definitely weren't eradicated from their home. Anyway, they share similar values. They have ethnic and religious diversity. Oh yay, Native Americans can stay. Freedom of speech and conscience. And the tendency for trade. That was a big one. Other than the tendency for trade, the Dutch share many values for this. They welcome many people, including the Jews expelled from Iberia in the 16th century. Next is Tidewater. Tidewater is an area including North Carolina, Delmarva, Virginia, parts of East Maryland, and the federal District of Columbia. They respect their police. They have tradition, and equality is less of a concern. Also, they are respectful to the federal government because, well, they are the federal government. Next, the Midlands, which includes mainly the border regions between these new nations, plus this part of Canada for some reason. People are ethnically diverse, they are politically moderate, and they tend to focus not on the rich, not on the poor, but on the middle class. This is basically the Switzerland of America. And they even vote neutral in elections. However, they do tend to hate it when the government starts doing campaigns there. And they really just want to have their own opinions. Next up, Greater Appalachia. This includes the regions of Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Texas, and many other states I am way too lazy to say. This is the warrior nation. Their values: personal sovereignty and individual liberty. They tended to side with the North in the Civil War mostly, but Now they side with the South against the federal government. And they tend to vote very Republican. They vote the most Republican out of all these nations. Right under Greater Appalachia, the Deep South, including most of the Confederate United States. Gulp. You have this was also called Gypsydom because opposed to Yankeedom, this area sided with the South during the Civil War. And they said democracy is an American burger, only for the privileged. Now what they say is they're against expansion of federal power, taxes, and most types of regulation. Texas is a big contender of this. Many people in Texas feel like they are an independent country within the USA. You don't hear people in Texas say they're American. You hear them say they're Texan. Next, El Norte. An area of the United States where at the United States-Mexican border region, parts of New Mexico, and even Colorado. Is the most Spanish part of the United States other than South Florida. We're going to talk about that later. And they are self-sufficient and take work very seriously. It's important to note that South Florida and South Mexico are essentially even more Spanish in this area. However, the author put them into a separate country, separate from the 11 nations, called the Spanish Caribbean, which we are not going to cover in this video. Next is New France, which includes South Louisiana, North Quebec, parts of New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador. And if anyone says I am mispronouncing that, tell that to my Canadian friend from Newfoundland and Labrador, who told me it is pronounced Newfoundland and Labrador. This is the French side of the USA, opposed to New Netherlands. Many people here are egalitarians, consensus-driven, and the most liberal of the United States. In other words, they are very accepting of the federal government and tend to side with it a lot, saying they're the best. Next, the Far West, including most of the least populated parts of the USA, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and British Columbia, and interestingly, Anchorage and Fairbanks in Alaska. This is an area with the Rocky Mountains. They are not super fans of the federal government, and there are many train tracks here and all this stuff. This is also where all your tools for industry come, aka your tools for income. This is the mining capital of the USA, and the gold rush happened here. That's why they added Alaska. Next, second to last, is the left coast, consisting of the left coast of California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, and the panhandle of Alaska, aka Chile 2.0. Europeans didn't colonize this land. Rather, Americans settled on it. And there definitely weren't Native Americans already there. And Americans, I guess, were descended from Europeans, so I guess that tracks out. This is a hybrid of Yankeedom and Midlands. What do you get when you add a neutral country to a democratic country? You get the most democratic country in the USA. Opposed to Greater Appalachia, this area tends to vote more Democratic. Finally, we have the First Nation. This includes the rest of Canada, including all its territories. Then we also have the rest of Alaska, mainly the unorganized territories in the census area. I just got a killer video idea. What if I do a video on Native American flags? Interesting. Anyway, this is Canadian territories in a nutshell. These people mainly want peace with the federal government and want to coexist independently. Anyway, that's the 11 American nations. Although this video is finished, I did have a tiny bit of questions, like, would the Spanish Caribbean be like a union or like an actual country? What would happen beyond this 11 nation world? I would like to know. Also, they never mention Hawaii. So who knows what happens to Hawaii? Maybe it becomes independent. Maybe it joins the left coast. Maybe it shrinks underwater. Who knows? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time for more Map Mark.